Why Deion Sanders should consider bringing back former Colorado corner Jason Oliver. A potential reunion between cornerback Jason Oliver and the Colorado Buffaloes could end up making sense for both sides this offseason. One of the many former Buffs who transferred out in April of 2023, Oliver developed into an all-Big Sky cornerback at Sacramento State this past season and is now back in the transfer portal, according to 247 Sports' Chris Hummer. Oliver's stock is higher than ever after a productive junior season, and coach Deion Sanders would benefit from adding an experienced cornerback to his roster. Most notably, Colorado has lost Deion Parks and Noah King to the transfer portal and Ivan Yates and Preston Hodge to graduation this offseason. DJ McKinney was also honored on Senior Day, signaling his desire to enter the NFL draft. Colorado's 2026 high school signing class is cornerback heavy, however. True cornerbacks Preston Ashley, Braylon Edwards, and Maurice Mojo Williams all made things official last week and could see early playing time. Plus, athlete Alex Ward holds two-way potential as a wide receiver/cornerback. Jason Oliver's impressive 2025 season at Sacramento State. While playing for new Colorado offensive coordinator Brennan Marion, Oliver totaled 36 tackles, 2 interceptions, 9 pass breakups, and a forced fumble en route to earning an All-Big Sky honorable mention nod. He also recorded an 81.4 grade from Pro Football Focus and held wide receivers to a 41.9% catch rate. The idea of a reunion between Deion Sanders and former Colorado cornerback Jason Oliver is the kind of storyline that feels almost poetic, the kind that circles back years later when both sides have changed, evolved, been tested, and arrived at a place where a second chance suddenly makes more sense than it ever did the first time. Oliver, one of the many players who exited Colorado during the chaotic roster overhaul of April 2023, has now resurfaced at a moment when the Buffaloes desperately need stability, maturity, and proven production at cornerback. After leaving Boulder, Oliver didn't fade, didn't disappear, and didn't become another footnote in the long list of players who left during the early days of Coach Prime's tenure. Instead, he flourished. At Sacramento State, he built himself into an all-Big Sky cornerback, refined his technique, sharpened his instincts, and turned himself into one of the more intriguing defensive backs now entering the transfer portal. According to 247 Sports' Chris Hummer, Oliver is officially available again, and the timing could not be more aligned, not only for Colorado's needs but also for the young cornerback's rising stock. The opportunity now feels like a moment waiting to be seized. The Buffalo's defensive backfield has taken hit after hit this offseason, losing a combination of transfers and seniors that leaves the team dangerously thin at one of the most important positions in modern football. Deion Parks and Noah King both departed via the transfer portal, and experienced contributors Ivan Yates and Preston Hodge graduated, leaving behind a group that suddenly needed reinforcements. Even DJ McKinney, whose physicality and instincts made him one of the more trusted defensive backs on the roster, was honored on Senior Day, signaling his intention to declare for the NFL draft. For a program trying to take the next step under Deion Sanders, these departures created a void. And in that void, the possibility of bringing back Jason Oliver becomes more than just nostalgia. It becomes a legitimate strategic move. Colorado's 2026 signing class is heavy on cornerback talent, with 3 true corners, Preston Ashley, Braylon Edwards, and Maurice Mojo Williams, all officially joining the program in the early signing period. They are promising, long, athletic, and confident, the kind of prospects who could grow into the role and shape Colorado's future. But promise is not the same as production, and early playing time for freshmen is a gamble, especially in a Power 5 conference where veteran receivers exploit inexperience without mercy. Even Alex Ward, an athlete with two-way potential as a receiver and corner, remains a development project rather than an instant contributor. Colorado may have the future in its building, but it still lacks the present. And that is where Jason Oliver steps in. His 2025 season at Sacramento State was not just a statistical leap. It was a revelation. Under Brennan Marion, now Colorado's offensive coordinator, Oliver posted 36 tackles, 2 interceptions, 9 pass breakups, and a forced fumble, numbers that barely scratch the surface of his impact. His Pro Football Focus grade of 81.4 painted the picture of a player who excelled in coverage, disrupting routes and suffocating passing windows. Wide receivers caught just 41.9% of their targets against him, a rate that speaks less to isolated plays and more to the consistency demanded of elite cornerbacks. He didn't just cover well, he erased. Those numbers put him firmly on the national radar and elevated him to the number 25 available cornerback in the transfer portal, according to 247 Sports. For a position where confidence is as important as technique, Oliver carries both in abundance. The story of his development is not a straight line. Oliver's first college season came at Colorado during the final days of the Karl Dorrell era, a year defined by instability, disappointment, and the eventual dismissal of the head coach. As a true freshman in 2022, Oliver appeared in all 12 games, recording 11 tackles and flashing the kind of raw ability that programs often hope will blossom under better structure. But the timing wasn't right. After Sanders arrived and began reshaping the roster, Oliver opted for a fresh start. He redshirted at Sac State in 2023, then returned in 2024 with 8 tackles and 3 pass breakups, quietly building toward the breakout season that would come the following year. The path was winding, but it brought him to this point. A proven, polished cornerback with experience, hunger, and something to prove. For Deion Sanders, the offseason ahead represents one of the most critical stretches of his Colorado tenure. His first 2 years were marked by unprecedented roster turnover, bold portal acquisitions, and a constant search for players who fit not just the system but the culture he envisions. This year, Sanders is expected to aggressively pursue transfer talent again, especially after openly admitting that last offseason's portal strategy fell short. With surprising honesty, Sanders acknowledged the missed evaluations. "We missed," he said. "Sometimes it happens, and I'm going to take responsibility. I'm not going to say, 'We missed.' I missed." It was a rare moment of vulnerability from a coach whose public persona is built on confidence and conviction. But with that admission comes an urgency to correct course, to find players who can stabilize the roster and elevate it. Oliver fits that mission. He is older now, more seasoned, more aware of what it takes to earn a role. He has survived roster instability, adapted to new systems, and proven his talent across multiple levels of competition. And perhaps most importantly, he has already worn the Colorado uniform, lived in the altitude, experienced the campus, and understood the expectations that come with playing for a program now under the national spotlight. Players who return after growing elsewhere often bring a combination of gratitude and purpose that cannot be taught. Oliver would not be coming back as a project. He'd be coming back as a weapon. For Colorado, the appeal is obvious. A veteran cornerback who can immediately stabilize the secondary frees up young players to develop properly rather than being thrown prematurely into the fire. It brings competition to the room, raises the standard, and offers flexibility in defensive assignments. Sanders knows better than anyone the value of corners who can hold their own, having built his entire Hall of Fame career on an island. One of his favorite philosophies, the idea that great defense starts with shutting down the perimeter, requires corners who can be trusted on an island snap after snap, week after week. Oliver may not be a superstar, but he is dependable, aggressive, smart, and battle-tested. The transfer portal officially opens next month, and the buzz around Colorado is already electric. With 12 class of 2026 prospects signed, including the trio of talented young corners, the future is bright. But the present requires balance, stability, and leadership. Oliver provides all three. His return would not simply plug a hole. It would complete a story that began in Boulder, took a detour to Sacramento, and now has a chance to return home stronger, wiser, and more impactful than before. In a sport where timing is everything, where careers hinge on opportunity meeting readiness, Jason Oliver and Colorado once again find themselves aligned. The Buffs need a seasoned cornerback. Oliver needs a stage big enough to showcase how far he has come. Deion Sanders, a man who has built his football life on instinct, recognition, and second chances, might see what everyone else sees. A reunion that feels not only possible but necessary. And if the two sides come together again, it may very well become one of the smartest moves of Colorado's offseason. A full-circle moment that benefits both the player and the program at exactly the right time.